Yo, what's up, homies? Talking about this foot stuff. People with some plantar fasciitis, rubbing the balls under their feet. Um, just foot health is so freaking crucial to everything: walking, jumping, running, skating. Right? I think there's things that are more important than skating, and that a lot of that's just like the how our hips feel and our legs feel and our back feels when we're doing life, when we're alive, right? Um, so one of the things that happens with the feet, right, and that can exacerbate pain in the knees, ankles, calves, hips, the plantar fascia is our arch can kind of drop a little bit. How we stand, we can pronate, supinate, lean to one side, put the weight in either one of those places. And believe it or not, like a slightly dropped arch or putting our weight on the inside or outside of our feet can really have a huge, monumental effect on how the rest of our body feels. And for those of us with plantar fasciitis, experiencing plantar fasciitis, we know it's pretty debilitating pain at times, and it seems like there's no way out. So, what we have to do, right? The in my experience, the most important thing we can do is become aware of how we're standing and how our feet are being used, and taking it from there. So I think I'm gonna just throw this together real quick and show y'all a little bit about how we might stand and how we can stand and use the feet. It's gonna be kind of tricky to film this with the phone and show you what the feet look like. It's kind of hard to do that at times, but I'm gonna try my best, and maybe the verbal cues will help a lot too. So y'all are gonna get to see my feet, and this is I used to skate more, checking in from the North Coast to California. The sun isn't quite out yet today. The fog is still rolling in from the ocean, just a little ways away from my house. And that's cool though. The fog should burn off in an hour. I'll get to go outside, maybe skate, mess around in the yard. I don't really know yet. But that's who this is and where I'm at. So get ready to look at my feet. And please excuse any like adjustments I have to make to this camera. All right. So check it out. There's a few ways a lot of people stand, right? I'm not even gonna get into the knees today, but like sometimes knees are like this, they knock, sometimes they bow out, all kinds of ways. So focus is on the feet, right? I was in the skate shop the other day and I saw a homie who's a ripper, right? In his standard vulcanized shoes, some half cabs. And because I'm trained to do this, right? I was looking at his feet and I noticed homie's like this. Y'all see the difference between this and this? He was totally putting weight on the outer borders of the feet. And this same dude was telling me that he's got pain in his hips and knees. And I'm just thinking to myself, well, so a lot of that's coming from because the balls of your feet are lifted and you're, putting all your weight on the outside borders of your feet. Because that, in turn, pulls the knees out, which in turn forces the pelvis forward and the hips back. That's going to have some ramifications, okay? Another way a lot of folks I've seen stand, and this is how I used to stand more, is we kind of dump in like that on the inner borders of our feet. And as you can see, my knees just look at how far they turned in as soon as I switched up like that. So what that does is it turns the hips forward, pushes the pelvis back, and that's gonna, tweak muscles in my low back and mid back to no end. So something I like to work on, it's been super beneficial, is just reframing how I stand stand stationary, okay? There's all kinds of yoga classes, physio classes that are like, okay, put the four corners of your feet down as if your feet are made out of squares, if they're boxes. That kind of makes sense. It certainly does, but I didn't get that, so we're going to talk about something a little different here, okay? So we do have these 4 points of reference in the foot, okay? We've got the medial toe mound, the lateral toe mound, medial heel, lateral heel. Those 4 points, okay? That's what I'm going to reference when, guiding how you might want to try standing, okay? So with both feet, what I'd like you to do is just lift your toes up, stretch them out a little bit. And while lifting your toes up, you definitely want right here, this toe mound, to press into the floor. Just lift the heels up, maybe engage your legs. Maybe you'll feel it all the way up into your quadriceps, down around your calves, up in your hips. I don't know. That's where I feel it. Now, let your toes drop back down to the floor. Okay, you've already pressed those toe mounts into the mat, or the floor, wherever you are. Not sure what you're doing with your heels, but we'll get to that in a moment. What I'd like you to do is just focus on right here, these toe mounds, right? That medial toe mound, not the toes, the toe mound right here. Press those into the floor, okay? You don't need to pay attention to really anything else right now. Just really cement those into the ground. Now, we're going to go diagonal from the medial toe mound to the lateral heel side, okay? So we're going to cross over, and you're going to also press that area into the ground, okay? So you've got this diagonal line that you're pressing into the ground. Medial toe mound, lateral heel, pressing into the ground, okay? Kind of getting a little grounded here. Don't worry about your toes. Now we're going to come back up to the lateral toe mound right here. And while keeping the medial toe mound, lateral heel firmly planted on the ground, you're going to plant that lateral toe mound into the ground as well. Once you're situated there, you're going to cross over, making an X to the medial heel. Press all 4 of those areas into the ground. Not worrying about your toes. You're not pressing the outer borders, these lateral borders of your feet. You're not thinking about that. You're thinking about the toe mounds in your heels. Okay? Once you're here, okay, I'm going to turn one of my feet so you can see. Okay? So we're doing that. It's like a really mindful, conscious thing to plant those into the ground, right? But now, right, if you're pressing those 4 places into the ground, it's kind of hard to dump that way. It's kind of hard to dump that way. But if you do have a fallen arch, some plantar fasciitis going on, you can start to focus on trying to lift up your arch. And you can hardly see this, but you can feel it if you're doing it. Put your finger under there and engage that arch muscle. Lift it while keeping the medial toe mound, lateral heel, lateral toe mound, medial heel firmly planted into the ground. No pressure on your toes. Lifting up through that arch. Okay? So I'm going to come back here. We're going to go run through that again. Okay? Normally, my feet would be a little wider apart, but you all wouldn't be able to see too well if I were doing that. So kind of have my feet a little closer together so it can be seen in the video. So I'm going to run through this one more time. Okay? Let's press the medial toe mound into the ground. Right here. I'm going to cross over to the lateral heel, press that into the ground. Come up to the lateral pinky toe mound, press that into the ground. Cross over to the medial heel, press that into the ground. As you can see, look, my toes are completely lifted off the ground. I am not using my toes, and I am solid. I'm not falling over at all. Pretty cool. It's using the muscles in the feet as opposed to the toes, using the whole foot. And it actually engages the muscles in my lower legs, okay? So there's some other things we can do to help with the hips and the knees and so forth. You know, I can always let down and my knees do start to knock a little bit. And there's a few other things that I can do in another video to help build strength in, you know, your lateral legs, the outer legs and hips and so forth. That will also take strain off of your feet. All right? So that's just something y'all can try that's really helped me, and you know, just might be worth a go. So yeah, take care of your feet, homies. They get us all over the place. They just absolutely serve us, perhaps more than any other part of the body, you know. At least those of us who are mobile. You know, apologies to those of us that might not be, or yeah, I'll leave that at that. But anyways, if you dig this, let me know. And if you want more info, input, whatever, I can throw that out there, you know, for sure. And I really enjoy it. So yeah, also, like, try this more than once, all right? Like, it might seem kind of weird at first, might not work at first, or seem like it's not working, but it really takes a couple times to kind of to get into it and whatnot. I learned this stuff, I generally, you know, face-to-face, I generally teach it face-to-face, so making the video on the feet might be kind of hard. You know, often like that arch raise, I might guide somebody with my finger or whatever. So obviously we can't do that right now, but yeah, try it once, twice, do whatever you want, you know, take it if you need it, leave it if you care. So yeah, I used to skate more, checking out, and I hope y'all have a great day. Peace.